Welcome to Talking with Natasha with Guerdy Abraira.
Hi, guys. We're streaming live.
We're streaming live. We're here. We're live, girl.
Yay! Okay, girl, I'm ready.
Real Housewives of Miami, event planner extraordinaire, cancer survivor, and now author. Congratulations.
Oh my gosh, it's a big deal. That is a big deal for me. Yeah,
this book,
thank you.
This book spoke to me. I read it cover to cover. I'm a cancer survivor. And when I tell you, I took so many notes, Guerdy. Look, I have ear tagged so many.
This?
Yes,
what?
so many different notes, and I underlined things that really spoke to me. And let me be honest, I didn't know too much about you.
Okay.
I only knew that you were on Real Housewives of Miami. I've seen the clips.
Yeah.
And it's all surface level.
Yeah.
And then after I read this book, I'm like, this woman has depth.
Oh my God, thank
You've
you.
lived.
Wait, so I want to know what you thought before you read the book, and then like what's the...
Yeah.
And maybe we ask this question after if you want, but I'm very interested in seeing that.
I see this book, and I see a beautiful woman on here, and I see that you've gone through cancer, and you hold yourself so well. And when you say, from trauma to trophies, I thought, okay, we're just talking about cancer, which is a massive trauma.
Exactly.
But as I'm reading it, you've suffered.
I've lived, darling.
You've lived.
As Wendy Williams would do.
You've lived.
Yeah.
What made you want to write this book now?
It was the time. Everything was leading to this moment. Some way, somehow, it was inevitable. And there were some recent traumas that were it was kind of like, okay, this is time to button it up and to start anew.
Yeah.
So now that I've evolved into this Guerdy 2.0, I'm ready to tell the tale because it has to come full circle, or at least attempt to.
Yeah. You call this book a manifesto, a blueprint. In so many ways, it's a diary. It's so authentic and raw. What part of it was the hardest to write?
Oh, it had to be chapter 9 about my brother.
That's what I thought.
Of course,
yeah.
My brother who passed, and 2 of his daughters, my nieces, in the earthquake in Haiti. So that was definitely hard to write. And Russell actually co-wrote that with me because it's so funny how you could be healed or healing or whatever it is through therapy, but I still have some blocked moments in my head.
Yeah.
And Russell's like, but what about this moment? And what about that moment? I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, what you talking about, Willis? And he's like, you are, not all there. So he helped me write a lot of it because it's just too traumatic still,
It's, you mentioned that. You talk about your brother, and it was emotional. I was getting emotional when I was reading about your brother, and 2010, the earthquake in Haiti, and you lost your brother, your 2 nieces, and you talk about how difficult it is to still write and recall that.
Yes, of
and
course.
Russell being your rock. How did you write? What was your process of writing this book? Because it goes so deep into your life.
Okay, so you guys are not going to believe this. I wrote this book pretty much one therapy session at a time.
Really?
Literally, we would talk about a topic, about, let's say, my childhood, in a moment that was a core memory. And then after that 1-hour session, I'm jotting notes as I'm talking to her, and it just felt right at the time to just start writing. So I always had like a summary of that conversation and the key points in those and takeaway notes from those moments, and it just evolved into storytelling. So I was able to literally put this together very cohesively because we went through one trauma at a time, and in between beautiful, funny stories, of course, because I think the book is it's not traumatic, like, oh my God, I need a tissue the whole time. It's like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
You laugh, you cry, and the whole thing. So it was really interesting, and it was cathartic. It was really cool.
It is. And also what I really love about this book is the fact that you've got these QR codes, which I thought is so smart. Okay, look at these QR codes. And my mom and I were reading this because I got 2 copies. So I gave my mom and I read this together.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I was showing her the QR codes. This is brilliant. When you take this, you can see all of the photos. And I love the photos of your parents in Haiti and your upbringing, and my God.
I Guerdified the book.
incredible.
So here's what happened. I had
Okay, what does that mean?
Yeah.
To Guerdify something, the verb, what does that mean?
As you can see, and I talk about it in the book, it's like, my name itself was traumatic. And I came to this country with a completely different name, Elisheba. And I talk about it on the show a little bit on the Real Housewives of Miami. But, I came with this beautiful name, Elisheba, and it was so hard to get along with kids at that age because it's like the icebreaker, the name. And it's like they can't say it, they can't spell it. It was traumatic. And so I ended up changing it to my first name, which is Guerdy. And Guerdy in American, in English, is much easier to say. And then all of a sudden, Guerdy became a force, and it just had me doing things that everybody was like, oh my God, that's so cool, you're so unique. And it's like, oh, one bride finally said, I want you to Guerdify my wedding. And I'm like, oh, that's the one.
I love it.
Guerdify.
Yes.
And we verbalized my name. And so when people say, I want to Guerdify something, it's taking it to the next level. It's thinking outside the box. And that's just the brand.
I love it. And I love how self-made you are.
Yeah.
True and true.
But like really self-made, not pretending or, acting as if I'm really starting from the bottom. Now we're here.
Starting from Haiti to Paris to Miami. And really, in many ways, in each place you had to navigate and you had to assimilate in different ways and find who you are, and there was just so much hardship that you had to go up against as well. Okay, so I mentioned that I worked with my mom in reading this. We read this together, and the chapters that really struck out to me, in your book you write about the C word, which chemotherapy, the other C word, not cancer.
C word, yeah.
Chemo humbled me. It stripped away every illusion of control I had because I couldn't schedule it out of existence. That resonated with me and my mom so much. What is your advice to women right now who are in the thick of it, scheduling those chemo appointments?
Let me tell you something. It's not going to seem as if what I'm going to say sounds, like it's visible, because right now you cannot see at the end of the tunnel. That's how it is. You're so in the thick of things, and it's so emotionally draining that you feel like there is no hope, and that you feel like it's just to give up. My first chemo session after the Neulasta shot that they give you, and I was in bed feeling like a skeleton, I looked at Russell and I said, I cannot do any more of this. I'm not doing chemo. I'm going to drop the chemo. I cannot physically handle it. And he looked at me and he says, don't you dare. He's like, don't you dare do this to me and those boys. And when he said that, I was like, oh, okay. I never saw him speak to me that way. He was very firm. And so for whoever's fighting this and who's going through this, you have to understand that you're not doing this not only for yourself, but for everybody around you. And also just think small, aim small, miss small. So you got to just do it step by step, second by second, minute by minute, day by day. And that's how you're going to get through it. And I promise you the light will be waiting for you at the end of the tunnel.
You have to take it day by day. That's the best advice.
Yeah.
And you're so raw in this book too. You open up about the symptoms that you had. I keloid as well. That's something and I have my port scar too.
Girl,
Look at the port scar.
Girl power.
and mine keloided as well.
Can you imagine?
And when I read the part about your frustrations with that surgeon who didn't do the radiation before just to get the aesthetics of it all, and advocating for yourself, how important is that?
Oh my God, he probably hates me, but he's the best, actually. He's amazing. And it's a learning curve for everyone. No, I always say to people, like, it's okay to not have an ego, right? And it's okay to be like, oops, my bad, So for me, it was kind of like, now more than ever, and I already have a big mouth, but I should have had a bigger mouth to be like, no, we're not doing this unless this happens.
Yeah.
And he did work with me. He tried to do the injection of the, what did they call it? The steroid injection right after surgery. That didn't work out either. But the fact is that I tried to say, this is not going to work out well if we do a surgery and we don't do something about these keloids, because I'm going to keloid. And it eventually ended up me having to go under the knife twice. But, it's very important for people to advocate for yourself. If you see something, say something. If you feel something, say something.
Yeah.
You have to. They don't know your body but you. So, yeah, speak up.
And that's a really great line that you had in your book as well, just the fact that you're going to be your best advocate for your body.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There was another part too. Oh, yes. Okay. So you do mention representation, because when you were looking through the pictures of the effects of radiation, you didn't see women with your skin color in the books. And it is hard when you don't see that representation in the doctor's office and when you're going through something like cancer. So for women, especially immigrants, women of color listening right now, fighting battles alone, what is one line from your book that you hope becomes their anthem?
Oh, you I mean, it may sound controversial, but science plus faith equals healing. Okay, we can't just say, okay, I'm not going to go to the doctor. I'm going to eat this herb and I'm going to cure cancer. It's a very mythical world in the Caribbean, community. I think in also African, and maybe I hear Asian. A lot of different communities. They feel like if we pray for it, it's going to go. And my father's a pastor, so I can speak from experience. And my father had prostate cancer, and he prayed, and he went to the doctor, and he got cured. So there's a layer of things, but you have to, science is real, and prayer and faith is real as well. But it's not only, don't rely just on one. I feel like, it's just a medley of things, so I feel like people should definitely adhere to that.
It's a combination, truly. And and your father, I read that too about your father.
I know, but the thing is that it's a stigma. I think that when people have cancer in some of these communities, they hide like they have the plague because they're like, oh my God, people are going to think I'm cursed. It becomes this mythical thing, and it's like, no,
evil eye.
You have cancer, and that's okay, and you're still a good person, and it's just one of those kinks. And for me, in fact, as weird as this is going to sound, it really humbled me, and I'm the better version of myself now. Yeah. And you may, I don't know, attest to that too.
No, I sometimes say that I'm glad I got cancer because it changed my life for the better. Yeah. My mom doesn't like when I say that.
I know. Like, no, don't say it. But it's weird how, like, you go into this deeper foundation of yourself and you find it. You have to dig for it, and only you can do it. Only you can dig yourself out of it. So the thing is that you seek this power that you never thought you had. And that, to me, is what a warrior is about. That's the definition of one.
Yeah, absolutely. You have built your life around breaking barriers and breaking boundaries.
The no that made me dangerous. That chapter, girl.
Yes. You're a top. That made you become a top tier planner. A reality star. Now you're an author and an advocate. After all you've been through, has your definition of success changed?
Absolutely. I'm successful now. I could be home being successful. There's so many layers of success. The definition of it, I think people are blinded by the material things. And I think I was too, because, you're trained to excel, right? So it's like, okay, better, faster, stronger. And that got me sick. And, I think that just knowing that it's not about just the things, and it's really about, what your family, yourself, your health, all the things that are intangible. So it's not about the cars and the money and all that stuff, because those things will always be there. But it's really finding the strength in yourself and being able to walk in a room and be successful just by your presence.
Yeah.
That's success.
Okay, Guerdy, stay with me.
Of course.
We're going to take a quick break. When we're back, I want to talk about this moment in your book that you said really changed the script. We'll be right back.
All right.
Stay with us.
Hi,
I love
guys.
talking to you, and I love your book. We're here talking about From Trauma to Trophies.
Yeah.
It's we decided this month to just do a book club, Talking with Natasha book club. And you're our first book of the month. And this is such an easy read, guys.
It's a good stocking stuffer.
It is really good stocking stuffer.
For all the girls out there, #trophy girls is what I call every girl out there, and guys, of course.
This, cover to cover took me about 3 hours to read. It's a
You're
very
a fast
easy
reader.
read. I'm a fast reader. And then, I underlined, and your QR codes are so great.
I love it.
Because I can go in and I can see all the fabulous photos of you.
I just thought, if you're reading somebody's memoir and like these pictures are black and white, I'm like, you know what? Let me add on to these pictures and make them colorful, and even clips of videos, so you get a more experiential, immersive experience. So I had to Guerdy the book, guys. Sorry.
You Guerdified it. Okay. I want to talk about this explosive moment in your book and on the Real Housewives of Miami that you bring up in the book, when that water was thrown at you by a castmate as a turning point. Was that really about the fight, or was it the moment that you realized that you were done carrying other people's toxicity?
It was about the latter. Obviously, it was really about me saying enough is enough. When are you going to continue this pattern of, number one, people pleasing, of always trying to put yourself second, of always trying to give that grace of like, well, maybe, no, it is what it is and it ain't what it ain't.
Yeah.
So, que sera, sera is how I see it. So once I realized, I'm like, you know what, stop making excuses for things that happen to you, and also live in the truth of the moment and what its definition is. And once I started to realize, I'm like, you know what? This is what it is. I get to choose what I do with it. So in a Bravo world, you know, the reunion is where you come in, you tie a bow on everything, no matter how tragic it is, right? And it's like, move on. That's the formula. And I realized, I'm like, you know what? Never really been boxed in before in my career. And I said, and it doesn't feel right because it was, it's half of an apology and so forth. And I said, you know what? I get to choose and let me, theory is how it all was born.
Okay, so we know about Mel Robbins' let them theory, but then you've come up with let me. So explain to everyone, what is the let me?
Let me first, newsflash, people. I was watching Bill Maher. What is his name? Bill Maher?
Bill Maher.
Bill Maher last week. And she's a guest on the show. I already printed the book. I swear to you, she starts with, well, I know I have to let them theory. And then she goes, but it's also let me too. And then I'm like, wait a minute now.
Did you TM that? Trademark?
So then I'm like, okay, now we're on the same boat, because I was literally saying I want to go on Mel Robbins to talk to her about her let them theory, because I'm on the let me crew, okay?
So explain, what is the let me theory?
The let me theory is to take ownership and to take leadership of your own actions, because yes, let them. They won't rely on you. Okay, let them. But then they apologize for half of it and it doesn't include the lies. Let me accept or not accept, for example. So it's really
putting the power on yourself.
Putting the power on yourself and taking ownership and leadership of the situation. Because guess what? I want a peace of mind, right? So the let them theory says, let them so that you can sleep at night. No, I can't sleep at night because it bothers me that I haven't done something about it. So for me, it's kind of like, once I shed and release what no longer serves me, rock my baby.
You sleep better.
Of course, absolutely. And I leave it at the door. So I create, the key to that though is creating a base of a sanctuary. So you got to come home to something good. So create your great environment, take care of yourself, eat well, exercise, do all the things that make you happy, so that when somebody does you wrong and betrays you or whatever, you could just say, you know what? I leave that out the door. This is not part of this sanctuary. And then you can really move on. Don't go back to a toxic situation after you try to, release something that was already toxic. Yeah. So you have to create control.
Yes. And that's the moment that really shifted your thinking, and you're like, I got to break a pattern here.
100%.
Yeah.
And it was always leading to this moment, everything. So you see this build up in my life, right? The stories that happen and how I get pretty much slapped in the face multiple times. I'm like, you know what? Enough of it. And this was the breaking point. Yeah.
So many women out there are, they're everything to everybody. And you were that for so long in your book. Yeah. What is your advice to women out there who show up for everybody but themselves?
I mean, listen, it's going to be a hard thing to break, and I still find myself doing it, but you have to make an active, conscientious effort to create a routine. If you have to write it down on your wall, write it down on your wall. If you have to write it down next to the table next to your bed, you have to wake up and do you first. So what does that mean? I don't know. For me, I'm doing my little stretch in my bed. I'm looking at the wall. I'm drinking 8-ounce glass of water. I'm doing my detox. I'm jumping up and down for like 3 minutes trying to detox my body, lymphatic massage, whatever makes me be ready for the day, but like really, really not rush through the day and then say, okay, I did it. You want to just be sure that you're showing up fully for the day. Yeah. And those are little things to do for yourself first. Do you, boo-boo.
I just love it. I love you.
Yeah. Thank you.
There's so many lessons to be learned from surviving cancer, but what would you say is the top one that you took away?
Okay. Surviving cancer humbled me so much because it taught me that I am not in control. Thank you, God. It really honestly just slapped me on my wrist because, as you saw in the book, I controlled everything.
You're an event planner.
Yeah, but you saw the trauma that led me to be.
Yes.
So you saw the childhood where the people I was staying with and how these traumas created themselves, these phobias, and I promised myself.
Thinking about when you were just a little girl on the lobby floor with your grandmother.
So symbolic.
Yes.
That moment, my therapist was like, that's why you're like this. Yeah. That's why you're like this.
And that scene is woven throughout your book.
Yes. Every time something happens, I'm like, I'm never going back there. I'm never going to do that. I got to be in control. So I'm like the little engine that can. And the thing is that my mom, specifically my mom, my dad too, but like my mom is more the vocal one of like better, faster, stronger. We are the RHOM family. You show up, you dress how you want to be addressed. Everything had to do with representation of the family name. So that's why people don't understand. Like, when you tell a lie, right? For most people, it's like, oh, whatever, it's a lie, no big deal. To me, it is a big deal. It's like a part of my reputation. It's my name. It's my brand on the line. So for me, my family, as you can see us growing up, it's all about representing that brand, which is the family. And so that's why some people may just think it's fun, but it's not going to happen on my name.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when I read your book and towards the end of it, you know what my biggest critique was? I think it ended too soon. I wanted more.
I was scared to keep writing.
More.
I was like, people are going to not want to know
I
all this
wanted
stuff.
to know. I wanted to know more.
When I read a novel, like a memoir, right? I hate when it's like, and then I looked at the window and the rain was falling. And I thought to myself, oh, it's so melodramatic. I'm like, I'm such a tomboy. I'm like, bada bing, bada bing. Like, just be done with it. So I even asked my husband, he's like, you could have written more. But I'm like, you know how I am. I'm like, really like to the point. So I wanted this book to be a modern memoir, which is like, you could read it in 4 hours. It's my life. I'm sticking to it. And there's none of this additional nuances that don't really connect into the book. There's so many other stories, but there's so many other books I'll be writing.
Well, so that's
stay tuned.
That's what I thought. I thought this is unfinished. There's more to it.
Of course.
What is the next level for Guerdy?
Well, you know, this book is the intro into my world. This is just like an introduction level of who I am and what I'm about and what I represent. Because if you're going to like it or you're not, right? And so it's very raw, it's very real, and it's very me. It's people are like, I'm reading this book and I'm like, yeah, that's Guerdy, right? Guerdy wrote that.
Yep.
And I love the fact that they can hear my voice. And wait till you get the audio. I'm doing the audio.
Oh, you're doing the audio good? Oh, I love that.
I got to do it.
How is that process?
We haven't gotten started yet, but it's going to start soon. And I can't wait.
It's going to be emotional, though, because there's, how are you going to, I mean, the chapter about your brother.
I don't mind crying. Like, the thing is that, you know, people are, what is up with the crying thing? And people are like, oh my God, don't cry, stop crying. Like,
because there's that stereotype that strong women don't cry.
Well, I could cry, I could scream, I could do whatever I want. It's my book. And when I tell it, I will tell it how I feel like I should tell it. If there's a moment that is so powerful, like in my brother's chapter, I'm not going to be able to continue, you know, reading the book out loud and not getting emotional. And I want the reader and the listener to cry with me if you want. It's okay to cry. It's okay to scream. Those are the emotions that are going to make you whole. And that's why people are broken. Yeah. Because they want you to get over things in 3 seconds. It's like, wait a second.
And it reminds me of when you were first diagnosed and you got the call and you were in St. Bart's.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like you put on your makeup and you kept going and you didn't really feel the depth of the emotion. It's so important to feel the emotion and go through those emotions.
It is the only thing that will make you whole. It really is. And I was not whole this whole time until now that I realized all this stuff. So cancer broke me down. It was symbolic detoxing. When the chemo was going through my body, I honestly just detoxed. And I'm not going to say I'm perfect now at all. I was still going. I picked up my therapy session, of course, again, after writing the book. And my therapist is on there. I give her an acknowledgement. And, you know, we're starting over because there are some things that still bother me and that I still have to go through, through the hell to get to the other side. So it's an evolving process, and no one is going to be perfect at the end of their life. You're always going to work on something, you know.
What inspired this cover art? Because I do love it. I think you're so beautiful, and it's just like, what inspired it?
I don't know what it is. As a designer, I've done this for 25 years, and not just a wedding planner, but I also own my own design company on Fisher Island.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
And that story, isn't that amazing? That story, how it happened?
Yes.
That was like, it will never happen again.
Yeah.
It was that one opportunity of a lifetime.
And you grabbed it and you took it, you know, and you know, I think God granted you that opportunity because he knew that you were going to run with it, and you did.
Yes. That was a very interesting story. But I think that, I don't know. I
think it's fantastic.
I just knew what he was going to look like. I knew exactly what he was. So I designed the cover, the back cover as well. And then I had a designer put it all together. But I sketched it all together. It just came to me. A lot of things in my life, it's inevitable. And just like, I wake up at night and I start taking notes. I'm my best thinker in the middle of the night. Get up and write those notes, guys. When you dream something, write it down.
That's, you know, we had Deepak Chopra on here, and he said the same thing. The first thing he does in the morning is when he wakes up is he writes down his dream.
Oh, well, damn, he remembers them? Yeah. I write them live. We're live at the Abraira bedroom. We wake up like,
wake up, start writing, have your journal.
All the time.
Did your family read this book?
Not yet.
When are they gonna read it?
My sister is writing. So my youngest sister, who you see in the book, she's still 9. She's 9 years apart from me, so she doesn't get to experience a lot of the childhood growing up of the funny stories I talk about. But she's one of my best friends, and she's reading it right now, and she's freaking out. She goes, "Oh my God, how did you know about like how my parents fled Haiti? That story.
Yes.
Oh my God." And then like my grandma. Like she didn't know that we're part Cuban. I'm part Cuban, guys. I don't know if you guys know, but it's the whole thing. Yeah. And she didn't know the story of behind that and the names of the family members. So I'm like, yeah, grandma's name is not Aline, it's Alina. But in French we call it Aline. Little things like that. People are like, holy shit. And then the salsa dancing.
I know, and then NYU. I mean, the whole thing. Okay, we've got. This time went by so fast. I can't believe it. We're almost out of time. We've got like 30 seconds left. Part two. Guerdy, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for writing this book. It meant the world to me.
Wow.
And it really touched me. And I think it'll touch a lot of you out there as well. So where can people buy your book?
On Amazon and also on Shopify at shop.gerdify.com.
Yes.
And on my Instagram, it's all clickable, links in the bio as well.
Gerdify your Christmas. Stocking stuffer.
Yes, baby.
Guerdy, thank you so much.
Happy
so great
holidays.
to meet you. Happy holidays. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks everybody. Until next time. Bye.